Medic! Medic! Democrats, is there a doctor in the house? Did you see that debate? Yikes. Joe Biden got his butt kicked. Oh my goodness. How could you be a Democrat and watch that debate and not come away with anything other than that may be one of the most corrupt people on the planet? Donald Trump absolutely had a platter engraved with Biden's butt, and he said, here you go, Joe. He handed Biden his butt. I cleaned it up for YouTube because I don't want anybody trying to take me off. Well, he curses on his show. Look, that was a clinic, absolutely a clinic. Donald Trump performed in every way that he was supposed to. He showed professionalism. They changed the rules that were supposed to make Donald Trump look foolish and make Joe Biden have everything going for him. They put in a moderator who did a good job. I'll give her credit. But Democrats, I warned you. I said, you got to be taking into account everything that's going on around your party. And you got to ask yourself, why would I vote for this clown? Let me just give Democrats a little bit of bad news. There are no black people out there going, man, that Joe Biden, he inspires me. He makes me want to be black and go vote, because you ain't black unless you vote for Joe Biden. That was a masterpiece of talk about a dichotomy. A guy who says, I'm representing the people. I don't think of myself as a politician. I don't care if I have the title of president. What I am is a problem solver. And then you had old Joe. Old Joe, Donald Trump, he lies. And Donald Trump, if it weren't for talking points, he'd have no points at all. But what did Trump do that absolutely set the stage? Donald Trump put Hunter Biden and the Biden family as a centerpiece of corruption. And he didn't do it for politics. He did it to say, Joe Biden promises you everything and he delivers nothing. If you didn't leave with that concept, let me remind you, this guy had 47 years. You, Joe, you had 47 years. You accomplished nothing. You had 8 years as vice president. All you talk about are all these things you're going to do. Why didn't you do them? And that is the overwhelming theme. If you don't believe that that's what essentially settled down, as the dust settled, if you don't believe that's what the dust settled to, then you missed it. What Trump was able to do is he was able to say, this guy's a career politician who cares about nothing except his career and the money that his family was making. And he would never do that for you. He's content to fleece you no matter what. And he's joined by all these other lefties that are willing to do the same thing. They carved up the country. They carved up this country and sold it off piece by piece to the Russian, to the Chinese, to the Ukrainians, to the Iranians, to anybody who is an enemy of America. And boy, did he have some zingers. Joe Biden didn't have a single zinger. Trump was like, who built the cages? Who built the cages, Joe? Who built the cages? And so Biden's over there. Well, they separated these children. And everything that Joe Biden said was already tried. It tested and it failed. Everything that he said. Trump knew taxes, and Trump goes, I paid millions of dollars in taxes. I don't need to show my tax returns. What was the best line from that? Do you remember this one? They spent $48 million with Mueller trying to find out things about me. There was no collusion. I have no ties to Russia. I've never taken a dime from Russia. Joe, I could spend, let me talk to Joe. Joe, I could spend $1 million and find out everything I need to know about you. So Joe Biden, no, you couldn't. Masterpiece. But what did Trump do that the media refuses to do, that people seem to want to disregard? I watched an interview with Stephanie Rawlings Blake on Fox News saying, you guys are reporting this fake story about Biden, about Hunter Biden. How long do you think that ruse will last? That ruse isn't going to last longer than this week, because everybody knows those emails have been verified. Joe Biden hasn't denied it. Hunter Biden hasn't denied it. And Hunter Biden's attorneys verified that the laptop was his. Everybody's had their little fingerprints all over it, and they all know it's Hunter Biden. Hunter Biden, sick puppy. But you know what? Hunter's not the sick one. It's Joe. It's the patriarch of that family who's sick. The guy who spread stories about my wife died in this tragic accident, the drunk driver killed her. Lie. A drunk driver didn't kill his wife. I've already talked about this, but it bears repeating. The guy who killed Joe Biden's wife when her car ran a stop sign or a red light and his 18-wheeler hit her, he was not at fault. He didn't serve a minute in jail. He didn't even have a whisper of liquor. And Joe Biden spread that lie. He told that lie for decades. And the guys, his daughter, finally got Biden to admit, no, that didn't happen. She wanted to correct the record of her father, who was a normal guy, a truck driver, one of the guys Joe Biden claims to represent, doing his job. And Joe Biden's first wife ran a red light and drove into that truck. And the rumors are she did it intentionally because of Joe. So Joe Biden, like most leftists, want to rewrite their history. And just for the record, I want to say this for the YouTubers and everybody out there that wants to give me a thumbs down or whatever. I don't care if this were Donald Trump. I'd be saying the same thing. This is not about partisan politics. It has nothing to do with Joe Biden running for president. He decided to run for president. He could have kept all this a secret by just doing what he was supposed to do and retire. Instead of getting in the ring, being all punch drunk and thinking he can still fight. Retire. Do what normal people do. Get out of politics. You haven't done anything for anybody. Get out. But he didn't. So he's fair game. And in doing the research, which is what people should do, you know what you find out about Joe Biden? He's a pathological liar. Why would you lie about a man who already has suffered a tragedy of having run over a woman and 3 children, killing the woman and an unborn baby? And you, or maybe the baby was born, I'm not sure, I think she was pregnant, but killing a woman and a little girl and tragically injuring 2 other little boys who probably psychologically had some serious issues. And Joe Biden's out there saying, he was drunk. Who does this? If you have a tragedy like that in your family and your wife and children are killed, and then you're going to create another tragedy by accusing the guy of being drunk, when sheriffs in those situations always they analyze, is he drunk? What was the situation? Was it a bee in the truck or car or whatever? What led to this? But you know what led to it? Joe Biden. So you want to put that out there? Let's do it. And Trump said, you want to put your family, you want to make it out to be, I think Trump's one of his best lines was, oh, Joe, you want to come off, you know, oh, I'm really sorry, whatever. He goes, you're nothing like that. You're corrupt to your core. He never let Joe Biden win any of these arguments. Joe Biden into taxes. Trump said, I paid all my taxes. I don't owe anybody. I don't owe anybody. I don't have any interest I have in a place was because I was a businessman, and they've looked in every nook and cranny of me, but they have not looked in every nook and cranny of you, Joe, because nobody wants to talk about it, but I will. And Trump did, and he destroyed him. He destroyed him on how he carried himself. Everything that people want to complain about. Oh, Twitter and Trump's he's mean-spirited. He goes, okay, fine. I'll play by the rules. And he did. Even when the moderator was interrupting him, letting Joe just run off at the mouth with nonsense. And you know what Trump did? He says, go, Joe. Run off at the mouth. Let people see exactly who you are and what you represent. Joe Biden talking about bringing truth over science over fiction and truth over, you know, whatever. His same little catchphrases that he's been using the whole time. And Trump says, keep saying it, because I know you're a liar. I can prove you're a liar. And if you think this drip campaign is over, folks, it is not. You're going to hear more and more and more leading up to the election. And here's the thing, it's going to get worse and worse and worse. That's why Democrats want early voting. Please vote for Joe now, because the more you find out about him, you ain't going to like him. And then you're not going to like them. See, because they let this happen. They wanted this to happen. They chose this guy at this time to be their leader. Now, look, I get it. And Democrats, I feel sorry for you. If this was the best you can do, I really feel sorry for your party. As I said in a previous one of these KEV talks, the Democrats had a lot of choices. They had youngsters, they had a female Pacific Islander, they had other females to choose from, young females. They had blacks, they had Asians, they had Latinos, young blacks, Asians, and Latinos. 4 blacks ran for president. And if Barack Obama was so good, why didn't they pick one of those light-skinned Negroes? Because they didn't want them. You know what Democrats are? They are the party of rich, old white people. And if you take out the rich, they are the party of white, old people who will eventually get rich. That's what they are. And they want you to believe that they're magnanimous, they're humanitarians. They want to help everybody. Well, here's an epiphany for you. If you're a Democrat, you should be leaving. They don't want to help anybody except themselves. Everything about the Democratic Party is about what they can do for the elites. They don't help the common man. And what Donald Trump demonstrated, I'm not a politician. You don't even get the impression that man is a billionaire the way they present him. He doesn't pay his taxes, $750. Trump says, I think that was a filing fee. I pay my taxes in advance. I paid millions of dollars. But I don't go around bragging about it. I don't go around touting all this stuff. And I don't go around looking in people's dirty laundry because I don't need to run on that stuff. But if you want to, let's go. Come on, put them up. And so here's Trump saying, okay, let's talk Hunter Biden. Let's talk about you, big man. We got to leave some money for the big guy or the big man. Trump brings it up. Who is it, Joe? I don't know. Is it you? I think it's you. I don't know. Is it you? Why don't you explain to the American people how your son got $3.5 million from a Russian oligarch? Why don't you explain to the American people how your son got $183,000 a month from a company that was already under suspicion in their country? How does this happen, Joe? You know, how does it happen? Joe, why don't you explain it? You have an opportunity to explain it. And what did Joe, all that's been debunked. The scientists, all the scientists said that never happened. And, you know, Trump's got to trust the science because that's all Joe has. The science, the science, the science. Now, that's not what he said. You know, I'm kidding, right? But what Biden is essentially saying is everybody's looked at this and they say that it's okay. Yeah. No conflict of interest, Joe. Sure, the State Department didn't say anything about that. Yeah, they did. People obviously believe, Joe, that crackheads get the kind of deals that your son gets without having vice presidential help, right? We all know that, right? No, we don't. Everything leads back to Joe Biden, corruption. And let's talk about Barack Obama's help for him. While the debate's going on, you got Barack Obama. He goes over to Joe's old hometown of Pennsylvania, which I love how Trump goes. He ain't from Scranton. He lived there for a few years. He talks about being from Scranton. He just completely dismissed it. He's not from Scranton. But anyway, so Joe, they bring out the secret weapon of Barack Obama. Barack Obama goes to Pennsylvania, and I didn't see it. You can look it up for yourselves. Maybe my producers will put this on here. But I heard there were 100 cars that drove by Barack Obama. Now, social distancing be damned, I'll tell you this. If Donald Trump does any event, 100 cars is nothing. And then when they show Barack Obama speaking, he's got a megaphone and he's speaking to like 5 or 6 people. It reminds me of Kamala Harris at her event in Florida, and she's pretending there's an audience by waving, you know, like this. Hey, Kamala, we know there were only 6 people there. Look, America, and I know the people that watch my videos know this. The Democrats and the leftists are performing a ruse. They want us to believe what our eyes see, not what our eyes see, not what we hear, not what all of our senses and our perceptions give us. They want us to believe the lies. They want us to believe fake polls of people that can't get 20 people to show up to an event, but they want you to believe there's this massive overflow of people voting for Joe Biden. They want you to believe that the mail-in ballots are going to be needed because, holy cow, there's so much enthusiasm. There's no enthusiasm for Joe Biden, even in his own campaign. So how are you going to figure this? Donald Trump knows he's got his finger on the pulse of everything happening in this country. There wasn't a single subject that Donald Trump couldn't make Joe out to be a buffoon over, whether it was the border policy and the xenophobia that was caused supposedly by Donald Trump stopping the Chinese from coming in from the Wu flu, you name it. Donald Trump destroyed that clown because he was concerned about the people. Forget politics. Donald Trump wouldn't care if he was a Democrat, an independent, or a Republican. He would be behaving identically the same. Joe Biden is bought and sold, and he can be influenced because he's all about the money now. He's gotten the elixir of the perception of power because he doesn't have any. It's the elixir. And he tried it out with his crackhead son. And he said, let's go to these countries where I can have influence, because he doesn't have any here. I asked a very simple question. If you're going to do something like this for your kid, why don't you do it on stateside? Why don't you get one of your buddies who's a Democrat and say, look, my son's got problems, but we can help each other out here. And I'm willing to come and be a spokesperson after I leave office or whatever, but help me out. My son's got a drug problem. Nobody would argue with a father helping his son. But when you do it the way Joe Biden did it, sneaky, he's got both his brothers involved, his sister, his son, all of them in a crooked cabal. And why did he do it? Because he watched Hillary Clinton do it. He watched Barack Obama get fat deals, fat book deals, Netflix deals. And he said, you know what? Enough is enough. I need to get my part. I'm the number two, and I'm watching everybody else get everything they want to get, and I get nothing. And it all culminated in this, with where we are now, with Joe trying to deny. Hey, that's been debunked. Nobody believes that. Look at what the media is saying. And let me tell you, I'm going to make a prediction for you. You want to go invest in Crow, because the media is going to eat a ton of it. There's going to be a run on Crow. Everybody out there, this story is not authenticated. It's not this or that. Get ready. New York Times, Washington Post, Wall Street Journal, whomever. If you are denying this story, you are denying the truth. And I would be saying this if it was Donald Trump and we're dealing with Junior or any of his other sons. I would be saying identically the same thing. Republicans, get off your high horse, because he's wrong. And that is the difference. So back to the debate. Who won? Same thing I told you the last time. Trump won that one. You may not have liked this style. This time he says, you want a different style? I'll give it to you, but I'm still going to give you the same punches. I'm going to absolutely show you that it doesn't matter what debate, who's there, how you do it. I will beat this clown, because this guy should never be considered for running the greatest country in the world. We should never want a clown like Biden to be. I wouldn't let Biden manage he couldn't dog sit for me. He couldn't house sit for me. And there's a whole group of people that think this man is qualified to be president. You've got to be losing your mind to believe that. And it was on full display. And let me tell you, did you hear that? Full. It was on full display. But let me tell you something. If you think it was on display then that Biden is incompetent and he's corrupt, you wait for what's going to come between now and the election time. Now, this video is not going to stand the test of time. It's only going to, I don't know how many people will see it, but it is documented what I told you. Joe Biden is going to be discovered. The Democrats are going to be discovered for trying to cover up for this guy. And it's going to have a ripple effect of everything that came before that. It's going to point to every crooked deal done by the Obama administration, every crooked deal done by Hillary Clinton and the Clinton Foundation, and a host of other things. That is the real worry for the Democrats. And sadly, they're too pregnant now. I mean, I know they'd love to abort this baby on the table after it's born, but it's over. This child you're going to have to raise, and it's going to get raised by wolves, because this child is not going to have a parent after a while. Joe Biden and the Democratic Party are toast, and you only got the preview during this second and last debate. So Democrats, you limited the debates. You did everything you could to make the debates go your way. Trump never, with hardly a protestation, Trump said, fine, you want a lefty moderator? Have him. You want to change the rules where I can't talk? Have it. What else you want? You want it in the dark? Or tell me what else you want. Whatever you want, I will meet you on your turf and I will beat you. And let me tell you what else has happened. Many conservatives feel the same way. They're like, bring it. You're getting armed. I bet you Hunter Biden was the most Googled thing after the election all around the world. The media blackout of him, done. Donald Trump put him on Front Street, and it will continue. As I said, It will be the biggest story leading into the election, leading into the re-election of Donald Trump. And after that, you're going to get the Durham report. You're going to get a host of other things because Donald Trump will have free reign. And as he alluded, he didn't allude, he said it. He says, I think we're going to win the House because of what Nancy Pelosi's doing. Brings up another point, the Wu flu, getting back to work, getting back to normal. The moderator says, Mr. President, what do you see? You know, how would you handle this? And what do you see? What would you want after this post Wu flu? And Trump says, normal. I want us to go back to normal. I want people to go to work. People die. It's a tragedy, but the number of people who die over this, he takes credit for stopping millions of deaths, probably did. I mean, I don't believe that. I believe that he stopped maybe thousands more people from dying. But here's the dirty little secret, folks, about life. We're going to die. So the people who are dying from the Wu flu, average age of 76 or something crazy. Hey, memo to Earth, that's when you die. You're going to die of complications of something. If we said that, complications of some lung disease, complications of some heart disease, complications of whatever, that's what people die from. So to want to put everything on Wu flu because you're trying to make a point of, look at how deadly this is. This is the biggest oversold piece of nonsense. And if there was any area where I wish the president had pushed back, it would have been, look, I've played into this long enough. We've dedicated a lot of money. What's going to save this economy is getting people back to work and not using taxpayer money to keep bailing out these crazy towns and cities from their riots. That's what he needed to say. Now, he did say part of that when he says, I'm not approving a budget that lets them do exactly that. If you're going to have black folks rioting every time a cop kills another black dude, I'm not paying for that. The taxpayers aren't paying for that. You're not ringing Pavlov's bell, getting black people up in arms. Oh, no, we got to go riot and loot, and then think the taxpayers are going to foot the bill. You're going to foot the bill. And when he told Joe Biden, he wants you shut down, wearing masks, I want you back to normal, that's what America needed to hear. It was a showcase in leadership. And this guy rocked it. And I don't care if I was a Biden supporter, I'd be looking at it going, hey, where's the platter? Because that dude just handed Biden his buttocks on a platter. I'm out. Hey, everybody, want to thank you for visiting my channel. I promise you, we're going to deliver some of the best videos you've seen, clever, insightful commentary, and things that you are going to be blown away by. So please keep checking back. Be sure to hit that subscribe button wherever it is. It might be over here. It could be over there. It's somewhere there. Hit that subscribe button and be sure to tell other people about Kevin Jackson and this channel. Thanks very much.